Hey there, I'm Spencer Buja, and I work with Jay on BrowseCloud at Microsoft. I'd like to give you a demo about how you can use BrowseCloud to bubble up issues in your product or service's feedback data. In this demo, we're going to go over the features and their benefits in the internal version of BrowseCloud, even though some of the features are unavailable in the public demo of BrowseCloud, like uploading your own data. If there's demand for a fully featured version, then we'd be happy to run a site with the full tool. Although another option is that you can run the library locally on your computer or set up the full service on your end. This will require some work, but we have some instructions to deploy infrastructure in Azure that should make it easier, such as Azure templates. To use BrowseCloud, you'll need to format your data in the right way using the simple input or the metadata input file formats. They're both tab-separated value file formats, but they're pretty flexible in case you make any formatting mistakes. If you have metadata you want to correlate with the topics learned from the data, then use the metadata input file format. Otherwise, just use simple input. Let's check out what the file formats look like. In a simple input file, you are just submitting a tab-separated value file with 3 values: a title, next some content, and then finally a hyperlink to the content or to the user that submitted the content. In surveys, the title will be the question you're asking surveyees, and the content is the verbatim or answer to the question. The link could be to the profile of the respondent. For Microsoft internal surveys, we point the hyperlink to a website called WhackWhackWho, which shows a small profile of the employee as well as their position in the org chart. Here's what a metadata input file looks like. It has a header row, and you can see it has similar columns as in simple input. The columns can be provided in any order. The title here is still the question. The abstract is the response to the question, and the link is an optional parameter, which we have left null. All other columns are metadata associated with the verbatim, which we use later in the tool. For quality control purposes, we allow you to submit data between 1,000 and 20,000 rows. This makes sure that the visualization looks good enough and that it doesn't take too long to create the visualization. Finally, you should try to make sure that you are submitting data where each row usually has 3 or more words per row. Okay, let's check out the file we have stored on our computer. This file is formatted in the simple input file format. The sample data we're going to be submitting is made up of definitions from the English dictionary, and the resulting visualization is going to be organizing these definitions by topic. For example, definitions about cities and government will be close to each other in the visualization. Now we're ready to submit our data to BrowseCloud. First off, we can scan over this visualization while playing with the minimum and maximum font sizes on the screen. What are the largest words on the screen? Do they match your prior beliefs about your data? Next, we can drop a pin by clicking on a word or group of words that looks interesting to us on the visualization. On the right-hand side of the screen, we can view a ranked list of the verbatims that are related to the region where we dropped the pin. You can also see that any metadata provided about the user will show up along the verbatim when you click on the More Information button. This is helpful for drilling into the types of folks talking about a topic. Okay, I've dropped a pin on the word color, and now some records about red, blue, and green are showing up in the ranked list on the right-hand side. Okay, makes sense. These are all colors. And now I'm going to search for a word to narrow the visualization and the ranked list down further. So we're going to search on the left-hand side for the word green. 2 things happen. For one, the visualization changes to focus on topics related to the word green. And second, we're seeing 3 verbatims that contain the word green that are ranked highly on the right-hand side. In fact, these are the only 3 verbatims that contain the word green in the whole dataset we submitted. The other verbatims are about colors, and green is a color, so that makes sense. When people analyze natural language data, they usually run sentiment analysis because it's a relatively simple task to perform. And our tool also has a sentiment analysis feature. It detects the sentiment, positive or negative, of the verbatims you've submitted. Before diving into the details about how you use the sentiment analysis feature, I'd like to recommend that you should only use this feature if someone is really responsible for looking into the sentiment of the verbatims. Okay, here's how you add sentiment analysis to your data set. You click on Add Color, and then next you choose the type of job to be done, which is sentiment analysis coloring. Finally, you click Start Job. The job will be queued and will run just like the training job did when we submitted the original data. In BrowseCloud, you can also correlate your own custom metadata with topics to discover insights. Just like with sentiment analysis, you're going to click Add Color. Then, we choose what data we want to use for the coloring process. We support numerical data, nominal data with 2 categories, and ordinal data. When making a BrowseCloud visualization, there's a trade-off between the capacity of number of topics in the visualization and how much the topics relate to one another when they're side by side. Our default is to provide you with a nice trade-off between these two, but you can customize it yourself. Click on Retrain and choose a positive integer as your window size and your extent size. If window size is close to extent size, then the number of topics to learn is low, but the visualization will be very smooth. If the two sizes are far apart, then the visualization can summarize many disparate topics. You may want to export your findings from BrowseCloud. After you're satisfied with your list of relevant verbatims, you can download them from the site and back onto your computer into Excel. Click on the Download button on the right-hand side.